Welcome to The Explainer. Listen, if you're tuning in today, there's a very good chance you are in a massive amount of physical discomfort right now. You're dealing with a severe, real-life medical situation that most people are just way too embarrassed to ever talk about. But today, we are dropping the stigma entirely. We're going to break down exactly what is happening inside your body and, far more importantly, how you can get safe, immediate relief.
Have you been sitting there pushing with absolutely everything you have, feeling that heavy, terrifying pressure, only to realize nothing is moving? It literally feels like you're trying to force a solid brick through a tiny space. Well, if you're nodding your head right now, take a deep breath. You are not alone, and you definitely aren't imagining things. This is a very real, very physical blockage.
Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the anatomy of a blockage, explore the hidden danger zone, walk through a 4-step emergency action plan, look at the post-blockage reality, and finally cover breaking the constipation cycle. Let's get right to it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, Anatomy of a Blockage. What is actually happening inside?
So, in medical terms, what you're experiencing right now is called a fecal impaction. But let's strip away the medical jargon for a second. Basically, this means a large, severely dehydrated, and incredibly hard mass of stool has formed and become tightly wedged inside your rectal cavity. It is literally a solid stone blocking the exit.
Now, a blockage of this magnitude, it never forms overnight. It's the climax of a slow buildup. Look at days 1 and 2. Incomplete emptying leaves just a small portion of waste behind. Now remember, your large intestine's primary job is to absorb water. So by days 3 through 5, the longer that trapped waste just sits there, the more water is continuously drained out of it. And by day 6 or 7, it's lost all its moisture, completely transforming from a soft consistency into a dry, jagged, heavy stone.
Section 2, the hidden danger zone. Why you must stop pushing.
You really need to realize that this is a medical emergency, and pushing harder is the absolute worst thing you can do. Think about it. Forcing a rock through a narrow rubber pipe only stretches the pipe to its maximum capacity and injures the tissue. The rock itself isn't going to compress. And here is where I found the research genuinely surprising. People so often confuse this blockage with a simple stomach bug. You might suddenly experience watery liquid leaking out, leading you to think, oh, I just have diarrhea. But it's a dangerous illusion. What's actually happening is the rock-hard mass is completely blocking the exit, and new liquid waste from higher up in your digestive tract is just squeezing and seeping around the edges of that unmoving stone.
Because of that highly confusing symptom, people often make a massive mistake. Please do not take anti-diarrheal medication. If you misdiagnose yourself and try to stop what you think is a standard stomach bug, you'll completely paralyze your digestive tract. That's going to strip even more water from your system and make the rock-hard impaction significantly worse.
There's another hidden symptom that involves a completely different organ, your bladder. Under normal anatomy, your rectum and bladder sit side by side in a very confined pelvic space. But when your rectum is distended to its absolute limit with this giant mass, it physically bulges out and violently pinches the bladder shut. You might feel an agonizing urge to pee, but only manage a few drops. In severe cases, this intense pressure literally requires an emergency urinary catheter.
And the physical dangers of ignoring this blockage, they go far beyond just bladder compression. If that intestinal muscle is stretched beyond its capacity for days, the blood supply to that tissue gets severely compromised. We're talking about a potential complete intestinal obstruction. And in the absolute worst-case scenario, the extreme internal pressure causes a bowel perforation. If the wall physically tears, toxic waste spills directly into your abdominal cavity. That causes a massive, life-threatening internal infection.
Section 3, 4-step emergency action plan. How to resolve the blockage safely. So the crucial point is, rule number 1 before you do anything else, stop straining and stop pushing right now. You are only going to severely swell your internal tissue, which is going to make removing the mass even harder down the line.
Okay, here is step 1, your first at-home intervention. You need to lie down on your side. This takes the downward gravity and pressure off your pelvis. Then, get 3 adult glycerin suppositories. And yes, 3 at the exact same time for an adult. You absolutely must heavily lubricate them with a water-based personal lubricant, because remember, the mass inside you is bone dry. Then, gently but firmly insert them deep into the rectum against the hardened mass. And step 4, you wait.
Now I really want to highlight this waiting period because it is the biggest mistake people make. You must stay lying down on your side for a minimum of 30 minutes. Do not jump up and run to the toilet the absolute second you feel an urge. The glycerin needs time to physically melt at your body's temperature, coat that rock-hard stool, and intensely lubricate those dry internal walls. If you rush it, you're just going to push out an unmelted suppository and leave the rock exactly where it is.
Well, what if 30 minutes pass, you try to go, and nothing happens? Don't panic. You just move to step 2. Get up, walk around a little bit, and rest for 1 hour. Then you're going to repeat the exact same protocol. Lie back down, heavily lubricate 3 more suppositories, insert them, and wait another 30 minutes. Often that first round only softens the outer layer, and this second round is what provides the necessary volume to dislodge the core.
Let's look at how this builds if those at-home methods fail. If 2 rounds of suppositories do nothing, your at-home attempts have to stop. Step 3 is urgent care or the ER. And seriously, do not be embarrassed, medical professionals do this all the time. They'll perform a clinical-grade enema or intestinal lavage using proper tools to flush it out. If even the hospital enema fails, we reach step 4, manual extraction. If the mass is basically cemented, a specialist takes you into an operating room, often under deep sedation or spinal anesthesia, to physically break up the stone and manually remove it to ensure they don't tear your bowel wall.
Section 4. The post-blockage reality. Winning the long-term war.
Once the emergency is finally cleared, whether at home or in the hospital, the immediate relief you feel is going to be indescribable. But removing the impaction is just winning one single battle. You have to change your daily habits so this nightmare never happens again. And the very first step is knowing what to avoid. Beware of over-the-counter stimulant laxatives. Seriously, think of them as false friends. They might offer a quick fix today, but they actually work by chemically irritating your intestines. Over time, your bowel becomes completely lazy and literally forgets how to push waste out on its own, leading you right back to severe constipation.
Section 5. Breaking the constipation cycle. Building a sustainable daily protocol. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the source material highlights a unique claim to naturally reset your digestion. It revolves around an 8,000-year-old underwater gut superfood. The source positions this as a natural way to restart your digestion without relying on harsh chemicals or eating mountains of fiber. According to the source, adding just a pinch of this underwater superfood to a daily routine can empty bowels twice as fast. They claim it requires absolutely zero daily fiber, soothes the gut naturally, and can drop up to 10 pounds of toxic buildup, clearing silent intestinal clogs in a matter of days, all without restrictive diets or expensive probiotics. Now, we are simply laying out what the source material presents here as an alternative pathway to clearing residual waste.
But beyond specific supplements, the source also reiterates absolute bedrock medical advice for long-term care. You must prioritize deep, daily hydration because water is literally the only thing that keeps waste soft as it moves through your system. You also need to ensure regular physical movement, physically retrain your body to use the bathroom at a consistent time every single day, and most importantly, seek out a digestive health specialist to build a real long-term plan that's tailored exactly to you.
Which leaves us with this final thought. A fecal impaction is a terrifying, painful, and genuinely dangerous emergency, but it is one you have the power to resolve and prevent. Will you stop straining, follow the emergency protocol to get the immediate help you need, and take proactive control of your digestive routine today? Please, don't let embarrassment keep you suffering in silence. Listen to your body, take action, and reclaim your health. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.